everyone, my name is Andrew Toy, a film critic for FilmBook. Today I will be reviewing Godzilla vs. Kong. This will be the culmination of the Legendary Pictures Monsterverse retrospective. Big times, guys. This is like our first full retrospective for FilmBook. So let's get to it. Let's see. So Godzilla vs. Kong released this year, 2021, finally. And it was directed by Adam Wingard, written by Terry Rossio, and stars Alexander Skarsgård, Millie Bobby Brown, and Rebecca Hall. This movie opens up quite unexpectedly. There's no action sequence, there's no fanfare, no dramatic fight. There's no flashing lightning in the sky, thunder. It's just King Kong waking up, taking a bath, scratching his ass. He's grown a beard. He's gone hippie on us. It's got a fun song. It's fun. It's witty and it's charming and it's everything I wanted this retrospective to be. I just wanted this all previous movies. I just wanted to be fun. And there were bits and pieces of fun in the previous movies, but not much. There's a lot more gloom and Zack Snyder piss all over these movies. But this movie opens up with something fun and witty and just what we go to the movies for, to just relax. And I liked it. I liked seeing Kong just, waking up on a regular day. And then he throws the spear. Next thing we know, he is entrapped in a, I guess you call it like an, they called it something, but just he's in I cannot, that's all, folks. I can't say it. He's in an inhabitant. And then this little girl offers a voodoo doll, and it's going to turn out she's going to be the connection to Kong, and she's sort of going to be our POV perspective through the movie. We'll find out later that they can sign with one another, they can communicate, and so they have a very deep connection. I will say, though, the inhabitant, with him throwing the spear and you see like the hologram, reminded me of the Hunger Games. I'm thinking that would be awesome. Like a King Kong Hunger Games situation, that would be incredible. But let's not get our hopes up because we get the dreaded people again. As you can tell by me reading the cast list, there are going to be people in this movie that really don't have any connection with Kong or Godzilla, that don't have anything to do with the plot. It's going to be a good time with all these people ruining the movie. It's the precedent that they've set for this franchise, and it's what we've got to go out on. So we do get the dreaded people. But I will say, at least this time, they do try to lighten it up a bit more than the previous films, or the group of teenagers, mostly, for this movie. They are going to be giving us the human drama. They will drop some quips and tell some little zany one-liners, which I shouldn't complain about. Because that's what I asked for the previous movie, so they gave that to me in this one. I'm not going to say they were laugh-out-loud hysterical. We had Millie Bobby Brown, who was the straight arrow. She was just let's not be too funny. She was just the serious one. Part of this trio was Brian Tyree Henry. He provided probably most of the laughs. And honestly, I appreciate the attempt. It lightened the mood. It reminded us we're here for a good time. I think maybe they needed some actual comedy writers, but he did the best he could. It was fine. I'm not going to complain again. And they grouped him with Julian Dennison. You'll recognize him from, he was Fire Fist, right? From Deadpool 2. And he was also the kid in Hunt for the Wilder People, a Taika Waititi movie, a New Zealand independent film made by Taika Waititi, who did Thor Ragnarok. If you haven't seen it, you should. My wife and I rented it not too long ago and really enjoyed it. It was a good, enjoyable movie and definitely had some laughs. I was surprised. But before I go further, I just want to... I've been giving a lot of excuses for the studio as far as having these human plots in these movies. And in the back of my mind, I've been giving them the benefit of the doubt that, I'm sure it's for budgetary reasons. They can't have too many monsters on screen. But then I started thinking about Peter Jackson's King Kong from 2005. That movie was 3 hours long. At like the 45-minute mark, you get to Skull Island. You've got a giant CGI ship crash And let's not forget about the fact that New York had to be rebuilt, okay, to represent the 1930s New York aesthetic. We had this great, exciting ship crash. And once we meet Kong at about the 1 hour mark, I'm just kind of guessing, because it's clearly broken up into 3 acts. You have the pre-Kong, Skull Island, and then the third act is the New York stuff with Kong. Once we get to Kong, it's 2 hours non-stop of Kong. And if it's not Kong, then it's dinosaurs. If it's not dinosaurs, it's giant insects. If it's not any of those, then it's biplanes flying through the air. That movie was CGI. It was a eye candy, pure eye candy through and through, despite what you think about the movie. So I'm looking at Legendary Pictures, I'm looking at Warner Brothers, and now at this point I'm thinking, don't give me that bullcrap that this is budgetary reasons, that you're cutting back the monster time for budgetary reasons. Naomi Watts shared the screen with King Kong. Jack Black was just as big of a star in King Kong as Kong was. So don't give me this bullcrap that you've got to pay your actors a certain amount of money or they have to have a certain amount of screen time or whatever. No. We come here to this movie to watch Kong vs. Godzilla. We come here to watch monsters fucking fight. That's what we want. And I'm going to get my complaint out of the way. We got it. Yes, we did. But we didn't get enough of it. We have never gotten enough of the monsters that we want in these movies. And this movie is no exception. And that pisses me off. I don't think that is okay. Point being, there's all these subplots going on with the people. I'm not even going to bother talking about it. I'm not. I will say that Julian Dennison, it was very nice to see him because he's a very calming and he's a reassuring presence on screen because of Deadpool 2. He was very charming in that movie. He was very good in Hunts for the Wilder People. And I can't wait to see him grow as an actor and have him be in more movies so that I can really judge him for who he is as an actor versus the kinds of movies that he's in. But let me step down off my soapbox. I've ranted. I've given my negative opinion, my very strong opinion, that these movies need to have a lot more monsters. And again, I stated this in a previous video. This is coming from a guy who values story and character over special effects, over CGI, almost any day. But when a movie is called Godzilla, I expect to see more Godzilla than anything else. When a movie is called Kong Skull Island, I want to see a lot of Kong. I appreciated that there was John Goodman and Samuel L. Jackson. I did. I really did. Every time they cut to a talking scene with the people, I just wanted them to move along. Let's get to the monsters. Let's move it on, people. But can I move on? I'm just going to move on. I could go on forever. Let's go on. Let's see what's next on my notes here. I've got to say, so on my free time, I've been watching Jaws 2. Something I've avoided because I love Jaws so much. I revere it so much. I've heard such terrible things about the sequels. But I've got to be honest, I'm rather enjoying Jaws 2 so far. And the reason is because it has something that almost every movie nowadays lacks. Tension. It has tension, anticipation, anxiety, suspense. That is something these MonsterVerse movies definitely lack. And it's made me so sad. It made me so sad. And I'll tell you what made me even more sad. When Kong, I'm going to jump ahead. When Kong goes into the hollow earth and, the people are following him in there, I thought to myself, that's where this movie needs to take place. That's what this movie needs to be. Rip off from Jurassic Park for all I care. Take place in Hollow Earth. Have a couple of people. If you've got to have people in these movies, I get it, I understand. But if you've got to have people in these movies, have them get trapped in Hollow Earth. And they've got to survive these monsters battling it out with each other. It's a little bit of a ripoff from Jurassic Park, sure. But you know what? They're making what? Jurassic Park 6 now? That movie's gonna make bank. Even despite how mediocre the last one was. People want to see more dinosaurs, more monsters than people. And you know what? Say what you will about the Jurassic World movies, they give us that. They give us more dinosaurs and more attention than they do people. That's where this monsterverse needed to take place. As much as I love having giant battles in Hong Kong and giant cities, I love all that. But you know what? Those don't mean a thing to me. And it's going to sound really bad. Those don't mean a thing to me unless I see casualties, unless I see people in utter peril, unless I see heroes, fighting, against the odds to save, other people and, who are trapped, and, there's a story behind them, and I want to get to know these people. But these movies have not bothered with any of that. There was one scene in this movie, there's the fight during the Hong Kong scene. And why not in Japan? That didn't make sense. I mean, that's where Godzilla was formed, was in Japan. It's fine, whatever. But in Hong Kong, there was one scene of people running down basement stairs or into like the subway system. And that was it. And there was like stuff falling on them, debris. That was all they showed of people. And those are fun shots. I like seeing people in turmoil. I like seeing people die in movies. Am I such a bad person? No, I'm a moviegoer. So yeah, it sounds like I'm complaining a lot about this movie. I'm really not talking much about the plot because there is no plot to discuss. I'll tell you what my prediction was going into this. My prediction going into this was that it was just going to take the Batman v Superman route. They're going to fight, and then they'll become friends, right? But because there's a bigger bad guy, and then they're going to battle the bad guy. And I thought that King Kong, because that's everybody's favorite, he's my favorite. I'm assuming most people like King Kong. I thought that they were gonna have him sacrifice himself so that Godzilla could live. That's where I thought it was gonna go. And I was about 80% right. So the monsters, they fight. I really didn't get why they were fighting. I think because they just both saw themselves as alphas and they didn't want to give up their position as such. So that could be a reason. Again, I didn't follow the people stuff. I didn't care. I didn't care about the whys. I just wanted to see the fights. I just wanted to see the whats, the whos. That's it. And the fights were good. I don't appreciate that the whole first fight was spoiled in the trailer. That's fine. It is what it is. But they were good. They were fun to watch. I really enjoyed watching the CGI, the snow falling off of Kong. I just imagined, how heavy of an avalanche that would have been. Him just shaking the snow off his fur. If you were standing underneath him, that probably could have killed you, And there was some really good fights. I enjoyed what these characters, the way they were animated to fight and to move, and it was really good. And I felt really bad for the animators with all the time that they spent on this movie and on the details of these monsters, that not everybody got to see it in theaters. There was the option of seeing it on HBO Go, which is fine. I think, who am I kidding? I think every movie should be viewed on the big screen. But that's another talk for another video. I would say, if you're at all curious about the movie, go see it. See it. It's good. It's not a bad movie by any means. Probably the next time I watch these movies, I'm going to fast forward every time somebody opens their mouth. But yeah, every time a person is on the screen, I'm just going to fast forward. I don't give a damn about any one of these people. Poor Kyle Chandler. I felt like he was the best one of the Godzilla movies, and he really had to take a back seat in this movie. Nobody wanted him back. That was too bad. I would have been okay with him coming back, of all people, but that's fine. We still got Godzilla back. We got King Kong back. They battle it out against a bigger baddie, and it was fine. And really, you're watching a 2-hour movie for maybe about 30 minutes worth of monsters. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. And the 30 minutes you get with the monsters is fun. It's good. I cannot complain about that stuff. But again, I keep going back to Peter Jackson's King Kong, and he gave us more than 2 hours worth of nonstop monsters. And when you compare this to that, it's no excuse. For the money that we pay, I would have been much happier with a lot more monsters. And that's my complaint. Maybe that's an underhanded compliment. The fact that I wanted more of what they kind of sort of teased me with. I'm going to give Kong vs. Godzilla a 6.5. It's the same that I believe that's the same that I gave Godzilla King of the Monsters. I think Kong was a 6. And I believe Godzilla, the original, 2014, not the original, but Godzilla 2014 was possibly a 4. And that brings me to my conclusion for Godzilla vs. Kong. Did you know that they couldn't call it Kong vs. Godzilla? Because that's already been taken. There is a Kong vs. Godzilla movie made, I believe, back in like the 70s. I haven't seen it, but check it out. See, compare the two. See if that one's better. I'd like to thank you for watching. You can find more of my work on FilmBook. That's film-book.com. You can also find more of my video reviews on YouTube. Just type in Andrew and Sarah Beth Toy. That's my wife. She chimes in sometimes. I do some older reviews, so look for the Should You Watch It tag. You'll find the link in the description below for that. If you liked what you heard during my review, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell icon so you're instantly notified when new videos are available. If you agree or disagree with my review, leave a comment down below. Also, consider becoming one of our patrons on Patreon. The link for that is in the description below. Your support helps us to create more engaging content. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. And the next retrospective will be A Quiet Place, leading up to A Quiet Place 2.